he was able to make a living, and basically he was thanking and he was saying that he is teaching everything to his kids to do the same thing. And it was my like a kind of golden moment, like even if they give you like, let's say $1 billion, I believe that moment and that video definitely worth more.
That's not amount of 1 billion. It's amount of, I think, 100 billion. Is it possible in 2013?
Even if I double my net worth, and I will still actually sleep in the same room, in the same bed, going to the same gym, and probably I wouldn't even change my car. I don't need a faster one.
Who want to get a chance in SEO or want to learn SEO, this video is for them. So how to do it and how passage ranking and everything entity, they give enough level of knowledge here. Welcome to a special podcast that just might change how you do SEO forever, because today we are not just talking about algorithm. We are talking to the guy who reads Google Brainwave, the man behind holistic SEO, the force of entity SEO, and the one who made information theory cool. Yes, Koray Tuğberk GÜBÜR is here, and trust me, you don't want to miss even one word.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm happy to be here, and I know that we have many brothers and sisters from Bangladesh. I get lots of messages, and I just wanted to say hello to all of them. And it's a pleasure to be here and being able to talk to them. I'm happy to be able to do this.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much for your time. Let's kick this off with the first question that's making everyone nervous. Google's new AI overview, AI mode are changing how people find information. Koray, is this the date of SEO or just evolution? How do SEO and website owner adjust when Google giving the answer directly?
So when you look into the AI overviews or AI mode of Google as well, you are going to actually realize, after using it, you are going to be realizing that there are like 4-5 different steps that Google actually performs there. In the Google I/O, they use some fancy words like query fan out, like changing the query that you actually type. But technically, this is not the new thing or the first time they're actually doing it. We know it because in their patents, like patents from Amit Singhal, Paul Hart, or Krishna Bharat, or Anand Shukla, all these names, like over 20 years, they were explaining how Google actually rewrites the query that you are typing. You might be searching for the symptoms of the cancer, but Google actually, when the moment that they take your query, they just turn it into the different versions of that. Like, let's say, symptoms of the breast cancer, or symptoms of the X type of cancer, or cancer symptoms on adults, on seniors, on children, females, males, or symptoms, let's say, nasal symptoms, eye symptoms, or lip symptoms, skin symptoms. So they are going to be getting all these variations based on different engrams and different contexts. The next step is technically understanding actually which one of these possibilities are more logical and mathematically more popular. If you see that some of these specific augmented and rewritten queries are more popular, it means that the index they bring actually are mostly for that version. That's one of the main differences of the semantic SEO from the traditional SEO, because we don't optimize for the query that you type directly. We get all the variations and all the possible connections there, and then we start optimization. When it comes to the AI mode or AI overview, it adds one more layer to this. But technically, web document ranking and passage ranking and passage generation, all these are working together. If your document is not ranking, your passages won't be ranking anyway. And if your passages are not ranking, the generated passage by the AI system of Google, it won't be citing you. So to get the appearance in the Google's own AI mode or the AI overview, you need to rank your document, and you need to make the Google also process every paragraph and every passage that you have. They have announced the passage ranking, or with the other name of the passage indexing, like 4 years ago, I guess, 3.5 years ago at least. So when you look at the most traditional information retrieval systems, they have document to query. This is the document, this is the query, and we match them. When we do things more semantics, basically, we don't have one query, we have a group of queries with query augmentation, and we directly match it multiple contexts in the specific document. When we get to the passage indexing, it is about actually not that much about the query, it is about the question. We have the query, we start generating questions from your query, and we match every question to one passage from the document. Let's say we ask again the same question, like symptoms of the cancer. we can generate a question like, what are the early symptoms, severe symptoms, or deadly symptoms of the cancer? We generate these questions, then we try to find documents that are able to answer all of them with a proper order. But this section is about query to question, question to passage, passage to the document. Today, when we say AI overview, it makes the system just slightly different actually, because in this system, the query, question, passage, document, we have this type of indexing structure. If you have the AI overview, you can have one query, then you can have different augmented versions of this query. Then you have different questions from all these augmented versions as well. And every one of them can be choosing actually, every one of them can choose a different document and also a different passage. Once you gather all these passages based on the document ranking and document scores in terms of the quality or the click satisfaction, then they start to cite them because they have to construct an answer. And I can tell that there is a cost that they mention in their patents. It's called transformation cost. As you know, I created topical authority from the concept of cost of retrieval. It is not about how quality you are, it is about how cheap you are. If your site is costly, you won't be able to rank that much. Transformation cost is explaining how costly transforming the passages you have to the form that they are presenting. If the form that they are presenting is closer to the form that you have, it means transformation cost is lower, which means they can directly take your passage and with very minimum change, they can directly put your content there and they can cite you. This also brings us to the subject of algorithmic authorship. In my course, I have shared some of my algorithmic authorship rules, but I didn't share all of them. In these rules, we created and actually fermented them from, again, the Google patents, especially from Stephen De Baker and Srinivasan Venkatahari, especially from the passage ranking algorithms like context scoring for passages, for answer passages. It's the name of the patent, for instance, check it. They directly check how they score your paragraphs based on different query understanding methodologies. And Stephen De Baker is probably, in my opinion, most important Google engineer to understand AI overviews today. But technically, if you already know what type of sentences they prefer, for instance, do they like discourse, let's say bridge words like however, or let's say however, unfortunately, or other type of bridge words, for instance, if they don't like these words, just don't use them. For instance, Stephen De Baker directly says that if you use these phrases, the passage decreases in the score. Most of the time, there are some subtle points there, of course, but most of the time it will be risky. If you're able to create a clean document that their NLP, natural language processing system, can parse and understand, and if you cover every context in an accurate way, it means that actually you don't leave any gap and you will be able to rank there. So in my opinion, it is even, to be honest, it is not even that much new, because when Google launched Lambda, which is another actually conversational based language model of Google, they launched it like 3 years ago. Even one Google engineer actually resigned by saying that Lambda became sentient, which means became intelligent. And he was, I guess, very deep Christian religious, because I checked his profile. And he said that it's very dangerous. And he was talking to the Lambda a lot for other things. And he even published the speeches or conversations. So in my opinion, Google actually created ChatGPT type of systems way earlier than OpenAI. They just didn't launch it because their business model wasn't convenient for that. And when it comes to the integrating chat systems to the information retrieval, Microsoft did it earlier than Google. Microsoft Copilot already works in the Bing results. We didn't see that much of a click loss any Bing sites that actually we rank for. And I believe for Google too, things will actually be okay and we don't need to fear. It's just things basically will be more semantic than before. I can say that.
Bro, I'm just a little bit confused about, are you a SEO expert or a Google engineer?
Thanks for the compliment. I mean, when you read like over 3,000 patents from all these engineers, you start to know them. For example, if you wonder anything about Google knowledge panels, go for Emil Moxley. because she is product manager. She is also filing the patents. If you see that a Google person who has a very high position, for instance, Srinivasan Venkatari that I mentioned, directly he is working for the Google Gemini and also Google AI mode. He is directly also announcing it. And he is vice president of search intelligence, and he is directly behind the generative summaries of search. He is the brain behind the AI overview, because they call it AI overview for public, but in the behind the scenes they call it actually generative summary. Basically, the same also happens even for the related terms at the bottom of the search engine result page. They are actually mid-page query refinements. They use always a different name in the patent, and they directly define it for the engineer. So after a point, you'll know what type of engineers you should follow and why they are doing it or how they are doing it. But in real life, they don't talk that much. Even the Turkish ones I reach out, they don't say anything. They are afraid of legal situations a lot. I can tell that, but since they don't trust their own employees that much, just for preventing OpenAI from hiring Google DeepMind employees, they pay millions of dollars so that they shall not resign and they shall not go to the competitor. Even if they do nothing, they pay them money so that they shall stay in the company.
And the other question is, many persons saying that affiliate marketing is dead. Affiliate marketing with site is not a big deal now. It's dead about. But my question is, many review websites are losing traffic. Best camera, best shoe now answered by Google directly. What can this site do now? Can they still survive, or this game over?
So when it comes to these type of queries like best shoes or best something else, it is again actually about the passage indexing, that what I mentioned before too. The main thing there is the passage indexing wasn't only about parsing a document into the passage units and matching it to the questions. It was just a beginning for feature snippets, or people also ask questions or different type of angles. The main thing there was actually ranking forum content. Because if you look at the Reddit, if you look at the even Reddit's robust TXT, you are gonna see that they are blocking and disallowing every type of crawler, including Googlebot. But still Reddit is getting over 2 billion clicks from Google every month, because they are giving their content from a back end or from an endpoint. They have a commercial deal between them, and that's why Reddit is thriving. But it's also not only the reason there, because they announced passage indexing. Because if you have a document, but in that document, imagine that there are 50 answers. Basically, their logic says that if I rank a document with 50 answers, with 50 different perspectives, or 50 different facts, basically, one of them should be real. And if that one is quality enough, if that answer is good enough, I will be ranking entire page. I won't be looking at other 49 irrelevant, other 49 non-quality answers. So they basically say that they can actually parse a document into the passages. Even if one passage is good enough, it overrides all the relevance or irrelevance of any other passage. And when you look at the best 10 shoes, you always see their Reddit, of course, but one main reason that there is that the people on the Reddit, first of all, they use a personal language by reflecting some perspectives. Because as you remember, Google announced Google Perspectives as a search feature. Basically, today it is called What People Say. When you look at the best shoes, you can see directly what people say type of search features. It was the first one. Then they divided what people say into the two pieces. What people say section stayed for social media shares and newspapers. Then they also brought forums and discussions. Most of the best type of content today, they directly rank either social media creators or either directly the forum sites. And they even announced forums and discussions structured data just before making that change. So the main issue with the main affiliate sources that stayed since 2019 to 2022 and until to the 2023 September, the main issue with them is that they don't have any perspective and they don't have any type of, let's say, real world existence to review these things, I can suggest you a site, topfirearmreviews.com. Check that site. You are going to see that it is slightly programmatic site. It lost the helpful content update and it recovered. It lost it. Go to the Wayback Machine, check the date that they lost the helpful content update. You are going to see that they were processing hotels, bags, and firearms, and bicycles and phones at the same time. Then they removed anything irrelevant to the top firearms. Then it was able to recover. So it means that you should be an expert for one topic. And these topics also should be making sense. The second thing is their content is directly scraping Amazon images. Whenever they get, firstly, you should understand this fact. Googlebot doesn't like that much of crawling and indexing every image. If you go to any Amazon product page, you are going to see that it has maybe 200 images. No way that Google is crawling or indexing all of them. But if you get these images to your own affiliate source, it becomes unique and original, because Google doesn't index them when it is actually in the basically Amazon page. The another part is, if you look at their articles or the documents, they always start these answers by saying, I tested. I even actually started to recover some of the sites from helpful content update whenever I redirect them, because I sometimes do redirection for recovering the HCU affected sites. And when I do that, I always choose an exact match domain with the phrase of test or best I test or these type of things. Because if I start your document by saying I tested 20 shoes or 20 best shoes, it is better than saying these are the best 20 shoes. Google is able or capable of recognizing actually sponsored content. Even if you don't say it is sponsored, when you link only to the highest commission payer, or when you always link to the Amazon, they don't like it that much. So this section is a little bit about the perspective angle. If your site doesn't have any perspective, doesn't have any unique visual or unique angle to give the best 20, and if you are not giving any type of, let's say, passage that reflects actually different type of answers, this is about safe answers. I explained it in my Saigon speech in 2023 when I was actually working with Zometry, that we created a great case study in the Nasdaq industry by ranking directly with just the semantics. I'm not active for the project like 2 years, but technically for that project, when we say something like what are the best methods for laser cutting on wood, when you say the best method for laser cutting for wood, you need to give different perspectives. A perspective from manufacturer, a perspective from user, a perspective from customer, another one from a research person, for instance. In my Budapest speech that I did, again in 2024, in that speech, I actually have taken an announcement from the passage indexing announcement of Google. In that announcement, you are going to see that they are mentioning a replacement. There was a GIF. In that GIF, basically, there was an answer. It was replaced by a forum. And the replaced answer was about, I believe, effects of ultraviolet lights or something like that. And a forum was outranking the actual site. The previous answer was coming from Ida Duarte. She is actually a PhD person. She is a real expert on the subject. The person who actually outranks him or her was an ordinary person from a forum without any username or any proper thing. So even if you do, because when we say EAT, people focused on like these PHP things, like showing your prestige or showing all of your ID card, text ID, etc. But when I look at there, the Magic Drafna from Reddit, a random name from Reddit, was able to outrank a PHP person because Google has a query classifier. Some queries are not about experience. Sorry, it's not about expertise. It's not about facts. It's about perspectives and your experience directly. And if you look at the best queries, best shoes, it's changing from an athlete to a bicycle person, to a jogger, to a hiker, to do someone else. It will be changing from a kid to the female to the male, or from a basketball player to the football player. You are going to be always getting different perspectives there. And if you don't have any sales opportunity, which I mean, imagine that there are two different search engine result page. One of them has only affiliates, the other one has only the e-com pages. Which one do you think that would be more satisfactory for Google actually? Or for the users as well? Clicking to the affiliate and going to the e-com, or directly ranking the e-com in the first place?
I think that's ecom ranking in the first place.
Because they already realize that all the affiliates already linking them, and all the affiliates already send all the traffic to the e-com. And then it gives a clear signal to the Google that I shall rank to the e-com rather than the aggregator. Some of them are an exception, because in the Google API leak, we have seen that they can put constraints to the type of website. For instance, they can put a constraint to the affiliate sources, and they can say that for best queries, either one or either two websites can rank as an affiliate. For the rest, they should be e-com or they should be forums. They are able to put these type of constraints, and we know it also from the patents, not just from the API leak, because there was a patent like categorical search quality. They categorize the search results and they give a quality score based on the category. So you can have the best semantically optimized content. They say that it is quality, but it is quality as an affiliate, and they put a constraint to all the affiliate sources there, because it is also about a Google competition to OpenAI or Google competition to Amazon. That's why also the moment that they started to rank the forums, they started to train their large language models for non-AI content especially. And that's why last week Reddit sued Anthropic, because they claim that Anthropic basically steals their content for training their AI. But when Google does it, they are happy with it because Google pays them directly. Also, if you look at the Google Merchant Center and Google Shopping, it became bigger than ever. For instance, product panels came, product review updates and product review systems changed and improved. Again, thanks to Emily Moxley as well, because product panels come from her. And when you look at that, they directly actually compete with Amazon, because they want to give Amazon alternative e-commerce sites in their search results as much as possible. So that's why I always say, think like the search engine engineer, so that you can actually understand what type of a site you can have. When it comes to these affiliate sites, affiliate marketing didn't end, definitely. You can always use social media heavily for it. But if you want to have an affiliate website today, I strongly suggest you to add products as well. Even if you don't sell the product, rank for the product categories by having a category design. But instead of putting the buy button, you can put a button like, let's say, compare the price. You don't have to affiliate, or you don't have to have an affiliate commission from every product or from every sales. But if you look at for instance, price comparison sites for phones or for hardware or for cars, they still keep ranking because they have something unique, and they also have a function. If you want to rank today on Google's search, either you are going to have a function, a service, or a product. If you don't have these three, basically, it means you are just a wall of text and wall of images. And if that text and image also don't have any perspective, any experience, definitely they will remove that site from the SERP in today's world, unfortunately. It doesn't mean that affiliate marketing that. It means that the moment that they put a constraint there, only the biggest brands will be ranking. Because if you cluster all the affiliate sites like a cluster, there will be a representative. And the representative usually is the highest page rank and highest search demand one. That's why they are being affected less from these. And that's why the small publishers mainly are complaining, because they are not representative for these type of, let's say, source clusters as well. You can check website representation factors and the vectors, patent and design. There you can see that how actually they cluster the sites and how they choose a representative for it. And topical authority is also about being the representative source for all the other smaller ones as well.
Okay, brother, that's great information you shared. Let's talk about power because right now ChatGPT, Google SG, Perplexity, these are not just tools. They are new search engines. How do we rank or even get seated in these LLMs? What signal do they watch?
It's a nice question. I believe I will be having taking a video about this even this weekend if I have time, because we have some websites like that takes actually 40,000 clicks from ChatGPT amount. But the website overall also gets like 6 million clicks amount overall. Only 40,000 of them are from ChatGPT. So the first thing is that even if you don't do something specific for large language models, I can tell you that still you will be cited, still you will be actually ranking there. Because when I take 40,000 clicks from ChatGPT, I didn't do something specific for it. So this optimization for a certain type of large language model might not always give you the expected result. And also, while trying to optimize your content for large language model, you might lose your ranking in the Google SERP or Bing SERP, because when you optimize a document today, you should understand that you are optimizing for three different layers. One is document ranking, second is passage ranking, the third is passage generation. Your question is how we can be cited for the generated passage, either generated by ChatGPT or generated by Google. But if you only focus on this one, you might lose the first two layers. If the first two layers are not good enough, the third one won't be considering you anyway. But I can tell that for AI, let's say for main AI or conversational AI search features, the context will be more granular, because earlier I wouldn't be able to ask a search engine like queries with 30 words. If I ask Google, old Google, let's say, a question with 30 different words, they will be cleaning the context by deleting 25 words from there, and they will be choosing the most important 2 3 words, and they will be binding them like a triple with a predicate, and they will be giving me the results mainly for it. I suggest you to do a test. Go to Google Images and write there 18 different animal names like horse, bird, dog, cat, and other like duck, etc., rabbit. Write 18 names, animal names there. Then play with Google. Change order of the verse. Take rabbit from end to the beginning. Then take horse from second one to the fifth one. Change their order and see how the images are changing. Try to understand how they parse your query and weight your context there. If you come to the AI angle of this time too, if you see that people are asking questions like, what are the best, let's say, debt repayment plan for veterans who fought in Iraq, who are older than, let's say, 70 years old, maybe, and with cancer and also divorced. Earlier times, you wouldn't be able to ask it to Google, but today, just for fun, I can ask this. I can create silliest questions there, and you are going to see that actually when you ask that type of a question, or if I ask something like, let's say, how to treat a cat after the cat has a fight and also an injury in the tail, and this cat is older than 18 years old, and it is, let's say, Scottish Fold. When you say such a thing, they will be parsing your question. The first one is, let's say, the treatment of cat fight. The second one is basically treatment of cat fight for Scottish Fold, treatment of cat fight for Scottish Fold older than 18 years old, and also treatment of injuries on the cat tail. Once they actually do all this parsing, again, as I said in my first answer, they are going to be checking all the augmentations of these queries, and they will create lots of different questions from these. And they will be retrieving different indexes or indices for every one of these questions. Once they get all these indices, they will be checking every passage for every one of them. And they will be basically, firstly, if they mention you, for instance, for the cat tail injury section, it means that that document was ranking really high in the first place for that query. That's why they are citing it. So that's why I'm saying that there might not be that much of a unique things that you can do only for the AI context. But for really, really long-term prompts or conversational queries, I suggest you to use directly some. You can also actually use OpenAI API key. You can just get basically every 24 hours, you can use the same prompt and you can check which brands are cited and you can create your own analytics there. I always follow actually creative, controllable, open source tools rather than tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush. But also for AI tracking, Nightwatch and Sonic, they already have some good dashboard there. They write your prompts every 24 hours and they tell you who is being mentioned more in what ranking for, let's say, best flight ticket site. They tell it directly for you too. And from there also you are going to see that it is directly correlative with your regular rankings. But if you want to get appearance for a very long prompt, as I just mentioned, as I said, you are going to need to parse it properly and you will need to distribute proper passages with the right sentence structures to the right section of the document. But also I'm saying be careful. If you place too many passages there and there, you might also lose your rankings for the document. It will also still, again, affect your LLM appearance and the visibility too.
You talk about entity SEO, entity attributes value, that kind of concept. But for beginner, that sounds like quantum mechanism or quantum physics. That's really to understand hard. So my question is, can you break it down? What's the first step for a new SEO to actually see result?
I mean, it depends on all the search demand and the competition there a little bit, but give me an entity and from there I can try to create a, let's say, maybe strategy.
If the entity is someone name as like your name, Koray.
And they are trying to rank for my name in this case. Okay, so let's say not my name this time, but let's assume the entity is, let's say, the cat, and you want to create a website about the cat or the cats. The first thing that you should understand is the attribute. For instance, do you want to rank for the cat food or cat house or home, or let's say the cat grooming or cat something? You should be selling something or you should be providing something. Like, even there are cat therapists, by the way, like, or there are even cat furnitures. But the first thing is choosing the attribute, and then let's say I sell cat furnitures and I understand this. So this is the cat entity. I have here furniture. Here I have the food. Here I have the house. Here I have the grooming, psychology, or let's say the drugs and the medicine or the diseases and the cat eye health or cat anatomy, etc. These are the attributes. And I want to rank for the furniture mainly, which means my homepage will directly be about cat furniture. First thing that I will be using an exact match or partial match domain, because probably you are not going to be having that much page rank budget or backlink budget. So use the exact match advantage by branding the term that you are trying to rank for. If there are already ranking exact match domains, then change your domain name a little bit there, because you will see a demotion in the ranking at the beginning. The second thing is that you will create a topical map. You get the central entity and the attribute directly to the everywhere in your sitemap. But also you will need to create a connection from furniture to the food, from furniture to the diseases, from furniture to the anatomy, from furniture to the something else. Let's say there is something that we call cat pillow. I just made it up, by the way. I don't know whether it exists or not. But in the context of the cat pillow, if I want to rank for it, I need to also rank for cat anatomy, because the pillow that I create will be touching to the either anatomy, either skin of the cat. And then I need to explain the material or the texture or the features of this specific pillow. For example, I have this level of foam density in the pillow because it is better for the cat's, let's say, skeleton. And I have this type of, let's say, it is from the cotton because it is better for the cat's, let's say, the scratching. You can always keep creating connections between the attributes. If you have a better content organization from core section to the author section of topical map, it means you'll be getting the higher relevance. The second step is, after you handle the relevance, the second step is the responsiveness, because when it comes to e-com, your price, your stock, and your brand search demand and your click data also affects your rankings, which means you need to always calculate these numbers before actually starting a project. If you see that a website always ranks at the top one for the last 5 years for the cat pillow or cat furniture, you should calculate before typing the first word or before buying the first link or before, let's say, typing the first byte of the code or design the first pixel for your site. Just calculate the amount of clicks that you need to replace it by gathering historical data, how many pages you should be opening from author or the course section, what is their technology stack and what is yours, what type of server response time you need, and how many, let's say, impressions you need until you are able to see a red triggering in the ranking, and when the core update is going to happen. The last one happened, for instance, in the 14th of the March. I expect one more very soon. If you know when the next core update is, you can tell that before the next core update, if I complete all these topics, I can show Google that my site has a better structure. And with the core update, they can give me a higher ranking state. I believe most people don't approach it this level of strategic understanding to these things. They just write and publish and wait for the search console to show a higher or better graphic. But you should always compare yourself to the competitor, because if they have high level of click data, it won't be that easy for you to actually trigger that ranking. So it means you need more historical data in shorter amount of time, which means I need high search demand queries to rank for. And it can force me to process things about cat food, but I don't sell the cat food. Then I can go to all the cat food sites and I can tell them that, hey, I write about cat food, you write about furniture. I link you, you link me. Or I mention you, you mention me. This will be also helpful for you to get more awareness and ranking and appearance from LLM results as well. This will be one of the angles, but you should understand first this entity, all the attributes, which attribute you focus, that attribute determines your homepage, and core section and author section of topical map. Then you should compare yourself to the main already authority site, and you should calculate all the logistics from your server response time, from your CSS size to the JS size, and to the what other topics you are going to be processing. The next step will be basically understanding how you can use large language models in a way that it won't be harming you. You can always have a kind of blacklisted words, because we know that there are some researches that shows that AI uses many phrases like fostering, enhancing, or robust, or seamlessly. I mean, these are their vocabulary. For instance, when I talk, I say, for instance, it's my signature, it's my talking way. My neural network in my brain is working in that way, and LLMs also have a similar one. I believe by just looking at statistical signatures, you can understand either the content is coming from Claude AI or from ChatGPT, because they even differentiate themselves. So that means that you need to humanize the content by determining a blacklisted amount of words, and you need to put really good amount of constraints to the AI so that actually it can always talk like you. For instance, I have maybe over 5,000 hours of recording of just myself. I can turn all of them, transcribe all of them, and feed the AI to talk like me. In that case, it wouldn't make that much difference either I write or either that model that I train actually write. But if you have enough level of data, you can make the rest work. That's why usually for the first 30 and 40 most quality documents, I definitely use humans. And if there is not enough level of budget, after that, I use that first 40 quality documents to feed the AI. Then I create actually next documents based on the similarity of the first ones, because first ones are coming from human. AI will need to imitate the human for all these sequences or word paths, which means it will be safer to use in that way as well.
In a speech, Sundar Pichai said that Google Gmail will be more personalized for you. They scrape data from us, what we send in Gmails or emails. Then after that data, they will make a entity source for us that we are. That's like you are Koray, your earning level is this, you're doing this kind of stuff, you are a SEO expert. If it's possible, it's look like a more personalized way, as like I am just searching pizza store near me or pizza restaurant near me, that just give me one answer. That's fit my budget and that's fit my location. Is
Yeah,
it possible in 2013?
I believe earlier too it can be possible. I have written a case study before. I have written more than 150 case studies, maybe I know, but that one was one of the first early ones. It was talking about this in with the context of actual tennis. I can send you the link after the interview if you want to. There, I was giving actually a direct an example, because there is a Google patent that says personalized augmentation graph, which means that Google is able to augment the queries based on the person. So if I search for cancer symptoms, and if you also search, they are not augmenting it in the same way. They augment different for you and different for me. They know that, for instance, let's say I'm probably older than you, and they basically augment it for my age, and for your age it might be different. In a similar way, in that case study, I was giving the example of the tennis court. And if you search for the tennis court, not even the best one or anything, just the tennis court, they already know that you actually came to the, let's say, Arizona with your family. They know that you bought the flight tickets. They know that actually you, let's say, paid for a few restaurants and you paid for a hotel. They know all these data already. They can basically use all these data to bring you a tennis court just around the hotel that you bought, and also a tennis court that you can actually go with your kids as well. The specific patent was explaining this. I was giving the same example directly to the case study because I was saying that I am covering everything, even if it doesn't have search demand, because Google always actually think about all these possible demographics and all these possible real world activities. And that's why I was asking and answering these questions, and it was helping me to rank higher because I cover higher potential click satisfaction. So by 2030, as Larry Page said once, Google can be a Star Trek computer, which means it directly works in your brain and directly actually thinks instead of you. You say something and they do it directly. So that's true. It can be your best friend and best personal assistant, and also your, a little bit, let's say, in a way, your brain extension. It can really be. And when you ask a question, even today actually, if you search for the query restaurant in a rainy weather, they bring you the places that you can go in the rainy weather. They already do it, but they already do it for a community. But when it comes to you, they know that, let's say, just giving a random example, let's say you are Indian origin and Google knows it, and probably they would be suggesting Indian restaurants before Chinese, for example, because they know the user already, they know your history. So it definitely makes sense. It is going to be happening actually, and definitely in that way. And I believe the home robotics and personalized assistants and new hardwares, smart glasses is already old, but I believe we will be having some different type of hats to show our brain waves to the LLMs to create some connection. I assume these things are very close, and we have like 4.5 years until 2030, but it can happen. I don't know legal side of it, but we can definitely see superhumans for doing science or superhumans, unfortunately, for doing wars. I assume it is going to be happening very soon.
Brother, many businesses run now. This is the time for the business to focus on ideal client profile. They will need to be do specific business ideal client profile. That's why just like I want to sell a shoe. That's my shoe price is $50, and I have an ideal client persona that who want to buy them, and I make
I
a
believe,
content that's look like.
yeah. The first question that usually I ask is to make $1 million. How many of these products should be sold to whom? And then I check once you get the answer to whom, you get the market size because you know, for instance, how many these type of people actually exist in the world or in your targeted region. If you see that the competition there is lower, and if they buy it from that product very frequently, and if their brand loyalty is lower, it means that it is a lower entry point for you and you can enter that market. And most of the time I create actually a product, let's say a product portfolio. I also have a project like that. For instance, I started actually from, let's say, selling in a way just actually leggings. That was my only point. But then I realized that the women who buy leggings, they also buy yoga mat, and they also buy, which is irrelevant, but they also buy spiritual things like spatial stones or the picture frames and the mugs, the fancy different type of mugs, and they buy the agendas, and they buy, let's say, the pink fancy pencils, and they buy many other things. The moment that I realize that, okay, a person who buys this also buys these too, then I actually create a kind of interest area and also a demographic group. If you're able to cover everything that they possibly can search and that they can possibly buy, it means you are already creating a topical map by choosing your product portfolio as well. So then I asked the question again, to make the $1 million, how many I should be selling from this? And if I know that, usually I try to sell, to be honest, to women, because males don't buy that much. I can tell it. They usually use the same thing, and they don't, even the males don't even refund anything. They just say okay and keep using it. But when it comes to the females, they are more careful about their lives and environment, and they keep buying new stuff most of the time. Even if they have 40 leggings, they buy the 41st, 42nd, 43rd. It keeps going. But for a man, if you sell something to them, probably for 4 years, they are not buying again. So that's why I usually also think this too. Let's say the market is small, but how many times they are going to buy a year? Then you get the point. Basically, you need to find a supplier from China. Usually that's what I do. Once you get it, they send you some prices, and there are some agencies in China. They know all the manufacturers. You should trust the right person, definitely. I also suggest if you have anyone from China, talk to them directly. And then they tell you basically this has this textile, this has this, let's say, material, this has this and this. And then you basically choose the ones that are being searched most and selling the most. Then you brand it and you start selling that. And you create a Google Merchant Center account directly. And it's not that hard. In my opinion, e-com is way easier than affiliate marketing because you get higher profit first of all. And since it is an e-com site, you can directly rank for any affiliate query either. And you can, if you want to still be an affiliate and e-com at the same time, do it. Sell the shoes, also rank for best shoes and take commissions as well from your competitor if you want to. So you can do both of them. But this is usually the strategy or the mindset that actually I use. If you say for, let's say, the optimum customer, try to understand this ideal customer profile based on annual sales context, basically. How many times you are going to sell them, and until you make $1 million profit, how many you should be selling to the same group.
Okay, that's great. I'm just thinking about to start a e-commerce brand. And brother, my main next question is: imagine you start again SEO in 2025. What are the first three actions you take to rebuild it?
The Okay, if it is e-com, you say the starting SEO like for learning SEO or for doing SEO?
Brother, think like a new beginner start SEO in
Start. Okay.
2025. Just start.
I thought that how I will start an e-com project in SEO or something
Okay.
like that. Okay. I mean, if I need to learn the SEO today, the first thing is the AI actually is a good luck there because, for instance, I learned Python in 8 months. It was very painful. I learned React in 1 year. It was very painful. I remember that I was spending my 4 hours just for one excessive comma. It was painful. Today, I just copy and paste it to the ChatGPT. It tells me where the error is. It also fixes it, even if I don't say fix. So I believe today you have some advantages to learn SEO, definitely. The only problem is that if you also trust the AI results a lot while learning it, you might also, AI because is not expert on anything. They just get a consensus from the web and they give it to you like real. So when it comes to SEO, many agencies around the world, they just publish for publishing and publish for ranking and publish for the leads. You might not learn that much. Even if you look at the latest situation with these, let's say, Google AI mode, everyone keeps actually sharing this and that and this and that, but nobody shares any case study or any result, and nobody actually shares an actual to-do list or actual checklist to follow, to be honest. So it means that if you started SEO today, you came to a buzzy, a very noisy industry. That's why actually you should know where to follow in a very, very good and careful way. If you trust AI, AI will be trusting what they see on Google. And if you search for anything for SEO in Google, you won't see that much of a quality content, unfortunately. So if you want to learn it, my first suggestion to you is that please learn coding first. If you know coding, especially with AI or with AI, it doesn't matter. But if you know the code, you know the website, how it functions, you know the actual, basically, when you type a site name, you know what's happening there, like TLS handshake or DNS resolution. You basically get how the internet works. The second suggestion from me is learn semantics and the linguistics heavily and understand that semantics in SEO is different than semantics in linguistic. For instance, when I use the word buy and the sell in semantics, they are antonym, which is okay. But in SEO, they are synonym. You are going to see that for buy cars and sell cars, you are mostly seeing the same or the similar results because search engine point of view, they don't need to change any result. Still, it is basically buy or sell. It is about how they see your queries. Semantics in search language is different than basically natural language. To learn the semantics, my suggestion to you is that while learning coding, Go to basically web and ask for fake word generator. These are basically creating fake English words. Take that fake word, create 10 different sites for ranking that fake word. I am saying to you to use a fake word because index size is small. You are the only one who wants to rank for it. And you are the only one who knows why the first ranking site is the one ranks at the first because you created it. You know that why the second one is second because you know the difference between the first and the second. And you can use different CMSs, different WordPress themes, or different, let's say, content structures. And you can see that which website Google chooses for that fake word. And you can define that fake word as an entity to Google. Then you can also learn entitization. It doesn't take that much time, in my opinion. You just go and create a fake word, create 10 websites, either WordPress or whatever you want, learn coding and learn semantics very heavily. When it comes to the links, I mean, the main thing with the links is that the link graph understanding is not that easy. Doing it or learning it requires too much money. So for that, my suggestion is if you can, try to find some old or current PBN managers, try to learn it by yourself by talking to them, or when you have these 10 websites that tries to rank for that, create your own links, make 4 of them link each other and check how their rankings are actually changing one more time. You can always basically create your own testing environment, and you can actually always write what is working and what is not working. But another part is if you see someone and that someone talks about SEO, always tries to learn and see what websites they actually ranked. Because I know many SEO influencers who never rank a site, but they have maybe 100,000 followers overall. So being an influencer doesn't mean that you are a good SEO. You know maybe how to talk to people, you know how to take attention, but it doesn't mean actually you know how to rank a site. So these are different things. That's why instead of following shiny things with being a fan of, let's say, a very famous name, just try to focus on actually what you see on the SERP with your own experience. That worth more than gold actually in SEO, I can say.
Brother, now SEO learning SEO is difficult. But if someone can learn it or difficultly adjust with it, how much they can earn now? That might be a question for everyone.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, I believe at the end of the day, everything comes back to your inner willingness to learn this thing. I can definitely say, and you also should understand that when you learn SEO, you learn web development, web design, data science, a little bit machine learning, just a little bit, and also you learn how information retrieval systems work, and you also learn semantics in language and in search. So it's not just SEO that you are learning there. You are learning many other skills and the things. And I'm not even talking about managing teams. Let's say you know semantics very good, but if you don't know how to talk to a person to convince them to do something, it is going to be again a problem because SEO is not a single person thing. It is a teamwork. You need to know how to motivate people, be friends with people, and also convince them to follow your suggestion as well. And you need to be able to explain it in a very good way. So personal communication skills are as much as important like your actual hard skills like coding, designing, and semantics as well. So that's why I believe it is a very hard occupation that you are choosing if you just started.
Brother, I'm just saying about if they do a job or take a just job and go to an interview for a job, how much they can pay for that job as an
Ah,
SEO expert
okay.
today.
It depends on actually your industry. If it is casino, it's too high. I mean, again, it's also about what type of a job you are doing in that work. For instance, one of our community members, I won't be telling where he is working, and I can't tell the name probably too because I'm not sure either they want to be known it. But he is working with one of the Hrefs competitors, and he is doing SEO for the SaaS, and he is paid around, let's say, $12,000 amount. I also know many other friends, for example, and they are actually just charging $5,000, like 2 hours of consultation as well, because they know like billionaires or very good, let's say, millionaires as well. But if you want to just manage a team, let's say you are working in an agency in United Kingdom, let's say in London, and your job is, let's say, job title can be, let's say, senior SEO executive, and that salary will be around right now, around or close to like £3,000, something like that. It will be. And when it comes to do, let's say, I'm not active in Turkey at all. I don't know the salaries here that much, but I must tell that it is all about actually your activation or your region. For instance, one of my friends, she is actually an SEO, but she also became a growth manager for the company, because SEO basically means a growth hacker with the organic base, in my opinion. And she agreed like around, as much as I can remember, I'm trying to convert currencies, but it was around like $6,500 amount, for instance, as a salary. So it changes based on what you do, where you do, and with whom actually you are doing it. If you are working for other geographies, I know that salaries are a bit going down there, unfortunately, because I know that people from Iran, or in my opinion, actually, the Pakistani and Indians and also Bangladesh SEOs, I guess, in my opinion, they are the best in the world. They know and they do lots of good things, actually. I mean, Iranian SEOs too. I have seen many Iranian SEOs in actually gambling industry. They are also very good too. So this region, in my opinion, actually have the best SEOs. And in my opinion, I said it actually a few times to my clients too. Like, you can't get that much of a good SEOs from developed countries, like, because they won't be reading Google patterns for that long, or they won't be doing that advanced work that long, in my opinion. They will go to the beach and swimming, or they will be doing partying or other stuff. But in my opinion, actually, people of this region, including Turkey, they are hardworking people, and they know, let's say, engineering in a really good way. I don't know the salaries in these regions, but that much. But I know that some people in our community have agencies. I also don't know how much they are paying, to be honest. But in my opinion, you should be asking, I don't know where you are from, of course, but if you are working for a company from US or UK or France, check their actual salaries averagely and ask for the same. Don't ask for lower that much if your quality is on the place. I believe you shouldn't just compensate from your value for that. At least I came to this point by just asking even more than that what they pay to their own people in their own country, because I know the things that they can't do. So you should always actually increase your value, prove your value, and keep adding always as much as you can do.
I know a person who is from Bangladesh. He just say in his framework or in his live class session, he just sell your topical map. He build a topical map and learn a topical map from your course and just sell it around 15 to $2,000 just for topical map.
I need to tell it, but I created the concept of topical authority and topical maps, but I never sold topical maps. Like, I know that if I sell it, I will be making millions, but still I didn't sell it, because I know that if I sell it, people won't be able to use it. I need to be there and I need to explain it. And if I don't explain it, I'm just selling them text that they won't be able to understand and use it fully. So that's not the first time. I know from people from Poland or other regions, they have taken my concepts and my SOPs and my course, and they sometimes even put their names. They never cite me. At least this guy cites me. That part, at least, let's say, hurts less. But I know many cases that many people try to steal the concept, or first actually they denied it. They said that topical authority doesn't work. They blamed me. The moment that they couldn't save themselves from that, because I kept publishing new case studies, then they started to try to own it for themselves. But this is how the work works, If there is something that works and successful, everyone tries to own it. If it is failing, let's say topical authority fails tomorrow, everybody will say that actually Koray did it. But if it is becoming successful, then it becomes, I did it. I also did it. I said it before him. Yeah, it always works like that on this planet, unfortunately. So for that person too, I don't know what to tell. I hope he is selling something right, and I hope he is supporting people as much as possible. But I suggest people that, I don't know why you are buying it, to be honest. Like, instead of that, just try to come to our community, and we gifted our course to many people as well. If you don't have enough level of financials, we give you scholarship, and you go to one of the cohorts. You learn it directly by yourself and learn it from the true source and learn it with others. By meeting every week, you can show them your topical map. You can always get support from the original source instead of paying to I don't know who, I don't know any name there. Just try to learn from the original source as much as possible. One more time, I don't know any name there. Maybe that person is very honest or doing something good. I didn't see the topical map, but it will be very like maybe 5% of I can say it is positive. 95% possibly you are buying something wrong there. I need to tell.
Brother, my thought is going there. As a business owner, not an SEO expert, as a business owner, I'm just pitch you. I just make you a topical map. As a business owner, you don't know what is the topical map and what is the concept of topical map. Why a person buy it from 2000, 1500 to $2,000? That's not a logical question. I think so. In my thought, I am explaining that
Yeah,
my thought
definitely. I
only.
mean, try to also think like that. I mean, that person wouldn't sell it actually if it will be working really. He will be using it for his own website, and he will be making more money than selling it, in my opinion. So try to basically read the case studies, watch the videos, and if you don't have financials, we'll be happy to always support you and give the course. It's not a big, I mean, we don't lose something when we gift to you. We actually become a bigger family. It makes us happy always. You should just show your true intention with the good intentions and help others in the community when you come. I believe you'll be getting very much more value from that, definitely.
Bro, you said it that you just give it option to the person for the course, and you just give a charity foundation as look like as a charity.
Yeah,
But I'm just
just scholarship basically. Like we gift
okay
it and
scholarship.
we ask person to be active in the community, and
Okay,
if the person ranks something or does something, just send us to that as a result so we can actually check it and share it with the community as well. So as I said, many people created their own success with the course. Sometimes they sold their sites for 10 million euros. Sometimes they basically just rank it and say thank you by sharing in the community. Until now, there are like close to 350 public success shares. The private ones, they just sent me a message by saying that thanks for doing it. I just basically did this thanks to you, etc. But it makes me happy. Basically, it's always a pleasure and a very good happiness to see that.
just a brother. I'm thinking now that if someone have not a financial able to buy your course or go for the course, you give enough material on your YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They just go to there and just copy that and just throw it to ChatGPT and just said it, write it in easy language. I think that's a more precise thing for them to learn that thing. Everyone, I don't
Yeah,
think
I believe
so
so.
that go for the to go for the course. Because I am just seeing 2 3 days ago you just saying about many things about a central entity and the Google AI mode and everything. You just you get a topic and you just write it down and publish it at Facebook. I saw it well.
Definitely, it's the best way actually. Learn by yourself and take support from
That's right.
AI. When you ask it whatever you don't understand, AI can explain it to you by parsing in the best possible way.
Some days ago I just mail you, you are a little bit busy, that's why you give me a reply that like I'm busy right now, I am reaching just in a while. Okay, I'm just go for a pattern that Google AI Mood release any pattern for now. I am just saw Google AI Mood just planning to add a ad placement in that Google AI Mood. They start business from them, but not now. After I think they make before they make its habits, they don't go for the business. They first of all they make it the habit, then go for the business. And is thing, brother, just is thing it be published after 2 or 3 years or 1 years, but we know the things very early and we started work on it. That's the great thing, I know that. And I am everything, I am just in my knowledge and my thought, I'm just everything I go for that. I'm just looking for the patterns now, which pattern Google now released, which things are now become more available in this case. And
Yeah, you
after
had a
that
good catch
said
there. I remember the mail. As I said, sorry for not being able to check it, but even now, let me say the number. I have like 45 mails that are waiting there. And if I check it, I don't have time to eat. That's why usually I try my best to answer it, but
no, no, brother, I
I'm
am
not
not
good at
upset
it.
from that. Just
Yeah,
I wanna say you just something I got it and I'm just sharing to you. Just I got a that material and how now I'm just thinking about that. Google will just release or make a patent, and we are SEO or digital marketing expert. We just work on it. How we can, if they do business, we also do business for them. We all are here for
Definitely.
make money, not that make money and not for the other things. Because
Yeah,
end of all, we have a family or we have a survival period also. Brother, my
definitely.
last question is about in 2018 or 2019, you are a PBN manager and you lost a 2000 plus site in a single
3000.
update. 3000, sorry man, I just forget it. 3000
At
site
the
you lost.
Yeah, at the first day of the August 2018, during the Medic update, I lost 3,000 sites. Then I went to the White Hat Industries more, and next year, at the first day of August 2019, I was about to publish the first case study publicly. Then the server breakdown happened and we lost the rankings. So every first day of the August, I actually pray God that something bad won't be happening. And the August is coming like just 1 month away. But it's true. I was actually a PBM manager and I started SEO from casino industry and the black hat industries. I can tell that that's why I was able to move forward and fast actually in the white hat industries too, because you know that you shouldn't be trusting the Google or Google's words after you see lots of things on the black hat side.
Brother, my question is all about that. From that year to this year, 2025, if you just skip the issue, I don't want to do issue anymore. I have lost my everything. I'm just, and you just don't want to read the patterns and these things. I think we not get anything about patterns or anything about it. After know you, I know the bill who make this more effectively things. But
Yeah,
if we don't know you, we don't know about the patterns, what Google saying and what Google doing. That's a huge different, I think so.
I believe so too. I mean, the Bill, I can tell that Bill Slavsky changed my SEO understanding from the zero and from the ground. And I was lucky to find his website thanks to the Sean Anderson from Hobo Web, because after losing 3,000 websites, you realize that you can't lose it one more time. And that's why you just want to understand really and literally what they actually do. Because then you realize that they explain everything in the patents. And if they say everything in the patents, why I am actually spending so much money for testing stuff, or for why I'm actually losing thousands of the sites with an update. So I can actually learn what they are about to do, as you did in that ads example, for example. You already know what they are on to and what they are going to be doing very soon. That was the reason that I have started to read the patents so heavily. And many thanks for your kind word as well. I'm glad that I was able to bring that value to the practical SEO, because Bill wasn't that practical. He didn't need to do that, but he wasn't focusing on ranking the websites. He was working. He was basically a patent analyzer, I can say, very in the best way, not even a good, in the best possible way. And he actually opened a portal for all of us to practice it. But I know, and I can say that others didn't practice patents that much. They just read it, think about it, and they leave it like that, I can say. But when you start to read it in a way that you can actually implement with by merging with your actually your knowledge and experience, then you get the true power in SEO, definitely.
All the knowledge you share, man, that's amazing, I think so.
Thank
Because
you.
you share the real knowledge. And I know many SEO experts who share courses, sell courses, and after this period, they just gone away. SEO is dead and leave the SEO. My question is, brother, if his SEO is dead, you always know it's before 1 to 2 years. If SEO is dead in
Yeah, of
2025,
course.
you of course know it in 2022 or 2023. Why you launch a course, man? Then you just then skip the course. Then
Yeah, yeah, you are definitely right on that. I mean, I believe the many people, they just look for attention in the social media. Like they say, it is because it's also a fault of the algorithms. Because I mean, let's say you tweet SEO is live, nobody will care. Like nobody will actually algorithm wouldn't be interested in that. But when you say SEO is dead, it's negative, and negative things takes attention in Twitter, in Facebook, in everywhere. They just or they directly get alert and they directly look at it by paying attention. That's why these basically, let's say, social media experts or engineers, they use this negative thing all the time. But To be honest, I mean, even if I want to kill SEO, I am honest on that. I don't know how to kill SEO. Like, I mean, possibly communism can kill it, but if communism comes, even democracy is that. So I believe SEO wouldn't be my first concern there. But as long as there is free market and as long as there is free thought, people will keep searching. They will search something. And if there are multiple things to search, there will always be a need for optimization. So I don't know how you can kill it actually. I mean, just bringing AI won't kill it. It will make it harder and richer actually. I can definitely tell you that. You will need to be more expert on many things. When the ChatGPT comes, people thought that actually, okay, everything will become so simple. In my opinion, AI makes everything harder because now everybody is able to understand everything. Everybody is able to design everything. So how you are going to prove your difference? Everybody makes good content now. That's why the forums started to rank, because I know nothing about cancer, but I can write the best content about cancer even if I know nothing. So it means that actually writing a content about cancer is not important as much as before right now. And that means that actually showing subtle differences in the content, micro semantics, became basically more important. So I believe, I'm saying it honestly, I don't know how to kill SEO. I mean, I'm trying to find a way of killing it, maybe alien invasion or maybe a kind of, let's say, a second pandemic or something. But as I said, these things will kill most other things too, not just SEO. I don't know how to kill only SEO, but keep everything live. Because as I say, there is free market, there is free thought. Then you can search. If you can search, you can do optimization. So there is no way of killing it that much, even for social media, even for AI, even for Google. Eventually, there will be always a search engine and search engine optimization.
That's good. You say about that ChatGPT and other LLM model just make it difficult things for us and make it difficult. I I just saw a thing about you look like a AI GPT and LLM models turn it into the AI automation softwares now, and make the bright future. I think so. Just I go to there and I plan it as like first you go to the chat GPT and I comment it, go for the sites and scroll down all the entities and scratch up and just down it into a sheet, and after the sheet I just add another chat gpt and just set it and find the all entities. Now there is all entity and just go for the all attributes. If I make this kind of AI automation, I think is able to I am will be able to go ahead from the today's people. I think so, man. What do you think about it?
Especially for programmatic case studies, that can actually work better too. If you have, let's say, you create a website about just car models, you can get all the brands, you can get all the models, then you can get all the attributes like engine and engine size or engine type or cylinders or horsepower. You can get all the attributes, and if you are able to fit them in a better layout with a better engagement and also more relevance, you can definitely outrank many people. In Sweden, as much as I know, there are some really good cases to check for electric car chargers. They are ranking as an affiliate for these type of things. I suggest you check. I also did a few things for that in the past. It will be a good example. But yes, that approach will be working for covering all the related entities and all the related attributes and the contexts as well.
AI agent, I think it about AI agents look the biggest one. I think so because I am not knowing about coding. But after that make.com and in the end, I make this AI automation very easily. Just think about, bro. I just make a
Yeah.
topical mat. What kind? One kind of topical mat, and I know how this work. And I just make this into a AI automation and fit it to AI agent. And just I go there and just said it. I need a doctor niche. I have a doctor niche and specifically dentist. I need a topical map to cover all the dentists, everything about dentists. And you just need to go and just push the button enter, and
Yeah.
it's go for the work. What do you think,
Yeah.
brother? It's the future or is the past?
It's not past, I can say, but there are some subtle sections there for representing it, because That's why I'm saying ChatGPT sometimes doesn't make it easier to, because if you rank with that methodology, as I say to the Wave Hub from Auto Blogging AI, let's say what you create based on my framework to automate everything as he tries to do, let's say it works. But if everyone uses it, then the difference again will be coming from some subtle differences. Because if I do what you do and if it works, then using an AI agent is not that hard. It means 2,000 other people can do it for the same industry with the same way. Then the difference again will be coming very subtle differences, either from your server response time, either from your page rank, either from your historical data, or micro semantics, which means semantics between the lines, between the words, micro changes that we do, which is usually harder and requires more attention. So it will work, but even if it will work, it will create need for further optimization. And that's why, in my opinion, eventually, if everyone uses AI in the right way, it will make things slightly harder because everyone is going to do that.
Okay, brother, I take your lots of time. I think you have.
That's
Thank you
okay.
for
I had
getting
so many
knowledge.
meetings today, but I'm glad that we were able to do this. I really care about the community in the Bangladesh. I never seen actually any rude person from there. They're all very lovely, and I really like how enthusiastic they are, and I really like how they are able to focus on details and how they love reading and actually working. It means a lot for me. I can tell that actually, maybe one more thing. One of my most, let's say, happiest moments, actually, it happened thanks to the someone from your country, because I believe, as much as I can remember, I'm getting so many messages. I'm not able to remember uh, all details, but it was my birthday. And I was able to check that message like maybe 3 weeks after my birthday. And the name was Mohammed, but I don't remember the rest of the name, unfortunately. He sent me a video. Basically, he was talking to camera, and his two kids, I guess boys, they were reading my case studies on the screen, and he was saying that thanks to the case studies he was able to make a living. And basically he was thanking, and he was saying that he is teaching everything to his kids to do the same thing. And it was my like a kind of golden moment, like even if they give you, like, let's say $1 billion, I believe that moment and that video definitely worth more. So thank you for that. And it came from your
Brother,
country, that's why.
I think so. That's not
Connection.
the amount of 1 billion. It's amount of, I think, 100 billion. Because the happiness goes for not for the
Yeah.
money. The happiness is upper than the money.
Because definitely, because after a point, the money doesn't change your life quality anymore. I can tell that today, even if I double my net worth, I will still sit here and I will still actually sleep in the same room, in the same bed. I will be swimming in the same pool, and I will be going to the same gym. And probably I wouldn't even change my car. I don't need a faster one. Anyway, they will be keep giving me new penalties or fines due to the police. So more money won't be changing anything in my life anymore. But these type of, let's say, bonds or personal attachments, they make a huge difference for your happiness in life. Definitely.
Thank you, man, again for everything.
Thank
There's
you.
lot kind of knowledge, man. I think who want to get a chance in SEO or want to learn SEO, this video is for them. So how to do
I
it
hope so.
and how passage ranking and everything entity. They give enough level of knowledge here. I think so. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.